Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? I'm making a quick video here. Well, maybe not so quick, but it shouldn't be all that long. It shouldn't take that much explanation. So, in the world, there are all these different kinds of people and all these different kinds of, um, I don't know, movies, video games, music, books, um, things to do, places to go, sports. The We really do have a lot of things that we can be doing in our lives. Sometimes we're not aware of how many things there really are to do, but there are. It's endless. And so, I guess what's on my mind here with this video is I'm going to try to explain maybe two things, at least two things. One, why I enjoy what I enjoy regarding at least music and also video games to a certain extent. We're going to leave movies out because I think I've talked about this before with movies and movies. With video games, you kind of get the idea with movies anyway, what I enjoy. There's a lot of crossover. So why I enjoy that, what I enjoy. And the second thing is, I'm talking about here is, it has to do with a certain YouTube video I commented on, and I got some critiques back that were, in my opinion, not especially well thought out. But I thought at least I should mention some of the stuff here because it's worth mentioning. So, music is the best thing that I do. It is my top ability level. It's music composition, especially. Let me give you an idea, at least regarding what music I have either listened to, practiced on the piano and French horn, or vocal music, or trumpet. I've also played trumpet, right? That's piano, French horn, voice, and trumpet. Although piano and French horn I still play. And there's probably some other things I'm not even thinking about as well. Yeah. So just listening and practicing, or playing in an ensemble or by myself, piano solo. And then that should cover a lot of it, but also what I've heard in concert. But, live performances too, not just listening to music, but in general. There's probably some other things I'm not thinking of, like music that you just hear, I don't know, when you're dancing on the radio or something, I don't know. Background stuff. So, of course, with regard to the amount of music that I've listened to and played, I don't have time. It's impossible for me to mention everything. But I took piano lessons from 8 years old all the way through 18 years old. And in that time period, I went through 5 different difficulty levels in kind of Bastian basics, piano course. Then I went through another few levels in John Thompson, at least 3 or 4, level 3 and 4. Not so much level 5, but level 3 and 4. By the time I got to level 4, done with level 4 range, I was already doing, I was definitely doing Czerny, Hanon stuff, and I bigger solos, right? And then, I taught piano for quite a while. There's a lot more music that I've become, but I was always playing piano, even if I wasn't doing lessons. So that's just lesson material for piano. I've played the devil out of like Debussy. I know his music very, very well for piano, pretty darn well. Grieg, yeah. Satie, yeah. Ravel is difficult, so not as much Ravel, but I've definitely heard a lot of. I've basically heard almost everything Ravel's written. So Mozart, yep. a lot of Bach. Definitely a lot of Johann Sebastian Bach. That's for sure. David Land's Neurotic stuff, New Age. A lot of Michael McLean, LDS pop music. Yep. Kenneth Cope. Yep. A lot of other classical composers, by the way. Some Beethoven, some Chopin, some guys that nobody's ever heard of. There's Massenet, Fauré, of course. Not so much Liszt. A little bit of Rachmaninoff. Yep. I just don't know where to stop. I mean, this is just piano. On horn, I played Mozart and Saint-Saëns and Richard Strauss and Beethoven and I don't know, Malcolm Arnold and Scriabin and I don't know, a lot of German guys. Again, nobody's ever heard of. Joseph Reinberger. I don't know. A lot of orchestral music too, of course. And that's just a whole bunch of guys. Dvorak. I don't know. There's also Halsey Stevens, Sonata for Horn. I mean, like, I don't know, Hindemith. Commodore von Weber. You guys don't want to, I mean, it's just, or in orchestras, I've played a lot of music. Mussorgsky, Ravel, Debussy, Stravinsky, Tchaikovsky, Elgar, Vaughan Williams, and Howard Hanson. Some film music by John Williams, of course, and other film guys a little bit here and there. And then, I've sung a lot of church music and also a lot of other stuff. Afro-American spirituals and even like Beatles and Elton John and Billy Joel stuff. I don't know. And then there's all the music that I've listened to. And I've performed in a woodwind quintet for a long time now. I played the woodwind dectet, a brass choir, brass quintet, a horn choir. You just go through Vaclav Nelibel, Karl Husa, Norman Dello Joyo, Percy Granger, of course, John Philip Sousa. Everybody plays that in band. Vincent Persichetti. Yeah, just the list is endless. It truly is endless. And all this music I've performed, and I haven't even touched the surface of what I've listened to, because what I've listened to, I don't know. We're talking about the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of pieces of music I've heard in my life. And that's just, I'm just talking about classical stuff. There's a lot of stuff I've heard that I've played. I played jazz before. I've played, yeah. And there's all the rock, and there's all the soft rock, and there's all the top 40 pop, and you just saturate with it in the United States. Hip hop, and everybody's, you push it away, it keeps coming back at you in some way, shape, or form. So, of course, I know about people like 50 Cent and Eminem, obviously. You'd have to be living in Greenland or something under an igloo your entire life to not know about some of that stuff. So, I don't know. And so I mentioned all this because, there's this discussion on YouTube regarding this one video regarding you need to broaden what you're listening to, or you need to listen to other music rather than just what you are used to. These presumptive idiots were trying to tell me something about how I wasn't really agreeing with the person talking in this video. And the one concept that both of these, and I do mean idiots, I truly do mean idiots, the one concept that they couldn't understand was they don't know me. They have no idea what I've listened to in my life. They have no idea what decisions I've made and why regarding what I listen to. They don't know what heck, they don't even know about my avant-garde composition lessons I had in college. About all the music that I listened to that was avant-garde as well. They don't know about that stuff. They don't know who Morton Feldman was. They don't know who John Cage is. They don't know who Pierre Boulez is, or Schoenberg, or Anton Webern, or Alban Berg. They don't know who, I don't know, Busoni is, or Xenakis, or George Crumb, or they don't even know Charles Ives. The Les Six, they have no idea who the Les Six are. Yeah. But for that matter, they probably don't even know. These guys couldn't even name probably 5 different jazz musicians: Charlie Parker, Thelonious Monk, Herbie Hancock, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong. There's definitely a heck of a lot more than those guys. Art Tatum, I don't know. But those guys couldn't even name 5. They'd be hard pressed to name 1 or 2. I don't know. Miles Davis, they don't even know who Miles Davis is. Probably to these guys. Country music, yeah, I know that. I know country music. Merle Haggard, right? Johnny Cash. That's real country music, the older stuff. And of course, you have Garth Brooks, and people even more poppy pop than Garth Brooks, or Brad Paisley, and there are guys that make those guys look very country-ish, right? The country rock fusion, right? Then there's folk, not folk. There's kind of the pop country stuff, like England Coley and stuff, and John Denver and Anne Murray and all that stuff, and Kenny Rogers. That's that whole area. And then there's the folk rock America, like America, the band America, and Fleet Foxes and stuff. Then you have kind of kid rock stuff, and also fun types of tunes, like stuff about They Might Be Giants. All the music that my brothers listened to, Pearl Jam in the 90s, Soundgarden, I don't know, the Cranberries, Spin Doctors, and all their, music collections and all the things they heard in that whole arena, Nirvana, right? My brothers had never into Nirvana, but it was more Pearl Jam and Spin Doctors and stuff, but it was whatever. And then there's Celtic music, or Celtic New Age, or Enya and Yanni and stuff, and all that Lisa Nielsen stuff, and I mentioned a little bit of New Age stuff earlier. Then I mean, it's all the soft rock I've heard, and there's a lot of soft rock, and Burt Bacharach, Christopher Cross, and Air Supply, mentioned England Coley already, the Carpenters. My parents loved Carpenters, and Neil Diamond's a bit more, medium to softer. He's a little bit more medium rock. Whatever, I don't know. Michael McDonald, or whatever. You have 80s up-tempo, happy rock guys, Kenny Loggins, and U2, and Hall & Oates, and Chicago, and getting into this 70s funk, Earth, Wind & Fire, Kid Function, Kool and the Gang, Heatwave, The Tramps, Disco Inferno, whatever, and all the 70s disco stuff. And then you also have the classic 70s rock, and the grungy stuff, the evil sounding stuff, right? So the Beatles were 60s, and then you had the Rolling Stones, and then you had, the Eagles in Kansas, and you had, I don't know, Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin, and, there's all that kind of stuff. then you have and then you have, you know, I don't know, bluesy guys and BB King and stuff like this, kind of influencing jazz, but also it's influencing country a little bit. Uh, you know, you have world music. That's all the music I've heard from, you know, China and India and, you know, other places, like, you know. And then you have, you know, Christian church type music, sacred music. John Rutter and Morton Lauritsen, and I'll mention my church stuff, and Keneal Daly and Crawford Gates, and I don't know, Carson Cummins, a Christian guy, and Renee Clausen. I mean, I mean, like, do any of these people who are commenting have the slightest clue about any of the stuff that I know? They don't. So why the devil would they be saying this crap about how I need to listen to more music? They don't know. They had no idea who I was and what I listened to. This is the kind of the mentality that you have for so many idiots on YouTube. I truly do mean idiots. I am not exaggerating. Anybody who assumes that much about somebody, you can just assume that they know everything about somebody, everything, from by somebody's comment that they make on YouTube. It sounds intolerant. Yes, I am rather intolerant about some kinds of music. When I hear, oh, who do I want to pick on here? When I hear Nicki Minaj, when I hear her stuff, guess what I do? You can probably guess what I do, man. It's okay if you guys like her. I'm not saying you don't have to like her. I've heard so much music. I've been involved with music. This is my career. I've been involved in music so much, and when I hear her absolute crap, and I do mean it is crap, it's worthless. It's pieces of crap. Now, I personally like Kanye West as a person more. I think he's, you know, I know many people don't like him. I think he's an idiot. I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot in my heart for Kanye. I don't know why. I just do. I truly think he's a decent guy. And he gets sense of humor. But, yeah, his music kind of sucks too. You probably wouldn't like to hear that, but, oh well. Roast with thick skin, Kanye. I don't know. You know, his music, it just sucks. Like, if you asked Eminem who are the best rappers, I think you could probably get a pretty good idea who the best rappers are out there who ever lived from what Eminem would say. He'd probably be right. But Eminem knows that rap is rap, and it's not jazz, it's not funk, it's not classical music, certainly it's not country music, it's not folk music, it's certainly not Riverdance from Ireland. It's none of that stuff. And so it's not really, it is musical, but it doesn't have, it's not as involved with, rappers are not composers. They are not composers. They might be songwriters, kind of. Well, there's certainly lyrics and things, there's rhythms to what, and then they use background music to what they like, but it's just a different beast altogether, as we all know. We're always trying to define what music is and isn't. It's not, the important thing is not the definition of music. The important thing is, what are you listening to and why? And some of these guys, these idiots, they're trying to, assume they knew what this guy was talking about, this MTV show about trying to broaden your horizons. It's like, no, you don't listen to music in such a way that everything is equal, everything is equally of worth. It's not. Music is not that way. Different pieces of music are worth, aesthetically, morally, in other respects, different. They're just some pieces are of more worth than others. Three Blind Mice is a very cute song. It's great for kids. Three Blind Mice compared to Symphony No. 9 by Beethoven? Are you kidding me? Symphony No. 9 is the greater piece. I'm not saying Three Blind Mice is a worthless piece. I'm just saying it's a nursery rhyme. It's a little kid song. It's great, but it's not of more worth than Symphony No. 9. If you went with one song on the other song were to exist, one song on the other piece, symphony, were to exist, Which one would you rather have exist, or which one would you rather? Doesn't really matter so much if it went away. Yeah, you see what I mean there. And you can do the same. You can just do that same comparison with every single piece of music that's in existence, and there's no way we can hear everything. That should tell you the worth of music. And if you guys, and everybody has different musical tastes, but if you haven't heard music of real worth, then by all means listen to some. You'll know music that is of real worth when you hear it. So, I'm not saying you guys can still like whatever you like to listen to. Nobody's forcing you to listen to classical music or jazz or anything that's often promoted by academia, or heck, film music. Nobody's saying you have to enjoy film music or I don't know, folk music or whatever it is. But there's a lot of crap. Just a lot of crap out there these days. It's absolute crap. Do I respect Justin Timberlake as a musician? He's a good singer. He's a good dancer. Not really. No, not really. No. Nope. But he's kind of a funny boy. He's got a lot of talents. Sure. I don't know. So, okay. I think I've mentioned things about video games as well before. My train of thought kind of was this. Most people I've known that are into video games and gamers, and also this crossover with movies, there are a lot of people that are satisfied with some very abysmal sorts of things. And sometimes I find myself playing these games that I'm like, this truly is a little bit abysmal. This is kind of I'm just trying to make this more fun for myself. But really, in all honesty, this game isn't really all that fun. I'm just not really feeling it. Now, I have to mention, though, there is a game I'm playing right now called Dreamfall, which has a lot of promise still. I'm like, okay, it's a story-based game kind of thing. But the controls, the mouse, are very clunky and awkward. Unfortunately, it's camera stuff. Very frustrating. But the redeeming grace of it is the story is still great. Yeah, it's gripping enough for me to want to continue playing it. But, there's a lot of crap. And, for all the crap that's out there musically, there's probably, percentage-wise, there's probably easily 10 times as much crap that's in the form of video games. That is just, why? Like, kind of like, you're I don't know. So there's a lot of ADHD boys, yeah. I know. Video gamers are often that way. Or Asperger's or autism or something like that, right? And it's not just boys, but it's the visually oriented, especially the impatient. There's the impatient games, right? The impatient games aren't always all that bad, but they often are. American McGee's Alice, and Wheel of Time, Baldur's Gate 1 or 2 and 2 are still my top 4 favorite games of all time. And Loom and Legend of Kyrandia had great artwork, and Loom had a great idea with the magic spells and music connection. These games still are amazing. Well, at least, especially the first 4 I mentioned, but Loom still kind of holds up pretty well if you want something that's a little bit more, refined and low-key and stuff, and nice, pleasant, and relaxing. Wheel of Time is great. I just, some of these games you just can't find very easily. I don't know. But, there's a lot of people are saying, this game is so great, this thing is so great, oh my gosh, this, whatever it is so great, and, yep, 99% of the time. It depends on what it is. If it's music, somebody's raving about some piece of music or some song, usually I'm like, okay. But there are times that had recommendations. I'm like, this is amazing. I kind of got into Rachmaninoff because of a roommate at BYU I had. I probably, Rachmaninoff was so advanced regarding his piano music that I never got, I knew about some pieces, but it's like, whoa, Rachmaninoff. Wow. How could I overlook him, right? Yeah. I mean, I've had those moments in my life. And yeah, video games, similar deal when I was younger. Nowadays, when you're on Steam kind of, in your Steam queues and like looking for stuff, kind of takes some of the guesswork out, but just that whole thing is different. And everybody on YouTube is talking about video games. This video is going pretty long. But I just know, just because somebody likes something doesn't mean that I'll like it. And I'm not an easy person to please. I have music students that are very hard to please. We should be hard to please. At least if we're north of 20 or 25, whatever. And it's like with food, you always get, if you get burgers and fries all the time, you're going to be unhealthy at some point. If you, get some salmon in there along with some cheaper foods like vegetables. I mean, I had a duck, Chinese duck type soup, basically with kind of peas or something like that in it. Or it was like soybeans or something. It was pretty good. And I know it was healthy because, yeah, if you take care of your body, take care of your health. It's sometimes if you get expensive stuff, make it really healthy. But if you only eat cheap stuff, try to be healthy. And it's the same deal with your tastes and stuff. If you watch a movie and that movie is equivalent to a McDonald's hamburger, right? Compared to a movie that's like, grass-fed lamb with asparagus and artichoke and, those little fingerling potatoes. And, yeah. The little carrots seasoned in lemon juice and stuff. Cooked in lemon juice. Yeah. Yeah. Or just, a nice salad with a little bit of tuna on top, or something. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. And some things elevate you, make you a greater person. Other things make you a lesser, smaller person. Let's think about this, folks. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.